Being morally passive refers to the tendency to avoid taking a stand or acting when faced with moral or ethical issues. People who are morally passive often choose inaction or neutrality, even when a situation clearly requires intervention. This passivity can stem from various factors, including fear of conflict, a desire to avoid responsibility, or simply not wanting to disturb the status quo. While remaining passive might seem like a safe or easy choice, it can lead to negative consequences both on an individual and societal level. At its core, moral passivity involves a lack of engagement with moral dilemmas. For example, when someone witnesses injustice or harm, but chooses not to act, they are being morally passive. This inaction may be justified in the mind of the individual as not wanting to interfere or feeling that it is not their responsibility. However, by doing nothing, the individual becomes complicit in the wrongdoing, as their silence or inaction allows harmful situations to persist. Moral philosopher Edmund Burke's famous quote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing," highlights the dangerous impact of moral passivity. One of the primary reasons for moral passivity is fear. Whether it's fear of repercussions, fear of standing out, or fear of judgment from others. For instance, in a workplace setting, an employee might witness unethical behavior, such as dishonesty or mistreatment of a colleague. However, they might remain silent out of fear of losing their job, facing retaliation, or being seen as a troublemaker. This fear-driven passivity can perpetuate a toxic environment, as others are emboldened to continue their misconduct, knowing there are no consequences. In a broader social context, moral passivity can prevent progress and maintain unjust systems. Throughout history, many oppressive systems, such as segregation, discrimination, and various forms of inequality, were sustained in part by those who chose to remain passive rather than stand up against them. When large groups of people avoid engaging with moral issues, the voices of those seeking change are often drowned out, allowing harmful practices to continue unchecked. However, it's important to note that moral passivity does not always come from a place of malice or indifference. Sometimes individuals may feel overwhelmed by the complexity of moral questions or uncertain about what the right course of action is. In such cases, people may default to passivity because they are unsure of how to navigate the situation. Yet, even in these instances, doing nothing can still contribute to the perpetuation of harm or injustice. There are also cultural and societal factors that can reinforce moral passivity. Some cultures or communities prioritize conformity and discourage individuals from challenging authority or disrupting social harmony. In such environments, people may be conditioned to believe that speaking out or taking action is undesirable or even dangerous. As a result, moral passivity becomes normalized, and the collective ability to address ethical issues is weakened. To overcome moral passivity, individuals must first recognize that they have a responsibility to engage with moral issues, even when it is uncomfortable or risky. This means developing the courage to stand up for what is right, even in the face of potential backlash. It also requires cultivating a sense of empathy and understanding the impact that inaction can have on others. By considering the consequences of passivity, not just for oneself, but for society as a whole, people can begin to see the importance of moral engagement. In conclusion, moral passivity is a form of inaction that can have serious consequences. While it may feel like a safe choice in the moment, choosing not to act when faced with ethical dilemmas can perpetuate harm and injustice. Whether motivated by fear, uncertainty, or societal pressures, moral passivity ultimately undermines the values of fairness, justice, and responsibility. It is only through active engagement and a willingness to confront difficult moral questions that individuals and societies can create positive change.